Leaders do not create followers. They create more leaders. That's the standard set in motion by our founding chairman, Tom Roe. Nearly every year since our founding, State Policy Network presents the Thomas Roe Award to an extraordinary leader who advances freedom and free enterprise at the state and local level. Tom Roe was a visionary, a business pioneer who believed fervently in free markets and hard work. He was an entrepreneur in both the business sense and policy sense, recognizing the need for a network of state-based think tanks and the allies they work with in their states, a network of networks, if you will. One that across the country would promote a durable freedom infrastructure that advances federalism and defends the principles that enable people to thrive. As we remember Tom, we pause also to reflect on two extraordinary champions who were very close to him, who passed away this summer. Dr. Ed Follner was one of Tom's closest friends and trusted allies. As a longtime president of the Heritage Foundation, Ed revolutionized how think tanks influence policy. And then only a few weeks after Ed, we lost Tom Roe's widow, our beloved Shirley Roe. Shirley faithfully stewarded the Roe Foundation for 25 years since Tom's death, carrying forward their shared vision to build this network that stands strong today. Both Ed and Shirley are dearly missed. State Policy Network is now in our 33rd year, and we stand on the shoulders of giants like Ed Follner and Tom and Shirley Roe. What they started and helped start 3 decades ago is now hitting its stride, innovating policy solutions through this durable freedom infrastructure. And now, we honor a leader who has innovated in his state, methodically going from strength to strength, with success compounding every year. Tonight, we acknowledge a transformative leader whose vision and grit have brought fundamental reforms to his state. As a devoted father of 5 beautiful daughters, he draws his drive and energy from them. They are his why. Every policy battle fought, every reform championed, every principled stand that he takes is fueled by his determination to look his girls in the eye and say he did everything in his power to leave them a state and a country that is worthy of their promise and their dreams. Let's take a look.
Initially, there was a lot of pushback. Jonathan pushes back hard, as anyone that knows him knows.
It took a lot of courage because he stood up when a lot of people weren't and spoke when a lot of people were quiet.
None of us ever feel like we're going to have to go through some kind of fire that he's not. He's going in first.
When I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, my mom and dad, us all dressed in our Sunday bests and walked down to the Capitol to advocate for homeschool families. That was a way for our parents to try to provide us an education that better met our needs. That's probably where the spark started for me in trying to improve public policy for people, and in particular, Oklahomans.
Jonathan Small and the Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs just got a bill passed to lower taxes and increase school choice in their state 10 times.
We're still in the first stages of our universal school choice program, But we're hearing significant stories from parents where they're telling us they are now enrolled in a school that's better meeting their needs.
They're creating leaders here at the school. They're seeing people as individuals. I think that's very important for our community.
You would think Oklahoma being a very red state, the school choice was just an easy issue. But it took years to get it raised. Thanks to OCPA, we've been able to raise over $1 million. That really gave us a fighting chance to have a private secondary school in North Tulsa to provide this great education for kids in our community.
It is interesting that they have...
One of the things that we have tried to apply at OCPA is a concept from our former chairman and founder, Dr. David Brown. He advised me to copy a winner. If you notice someone that's doing something really well, try to apply that. And so a number of my peers have been extremely influential in really building out a durable freedom infrastructure.
We have lots of people in this country who have a lot of ideas, good ideas, many of them, and a lot of them sit on a shelf. Jonathan is one of those leaders in this network who puts it into action.
Jonathan cast this vision to build the infrastructure necessary to change the environment.
There were bits and pieces already, but he came in and said, we need an entire ecosystem.
We needed to make sure we could advance our public policy goals, that we could actually advance our ideas, that was shaping culture, policy, and politics.
I would think Dr. Brown would be tickled at the direction Jonathan is leading OCPA.
He has built a great team. He'll be the first to tell you, it takes everybody working in harmony to make things happen.
My father would be glad to see it continue to grow and to stay true to its mission.
Now we have a durable freedom infrastructure that is felt at the state capitol and in districts all over Oklahoma.
Many of Jonathan's peers in other states were targeting school reform, tax reform, but Jonathan knew it was necessary to target his state Supreme Court, otherwise he would not be able to get anything done.
The Supreme Court joined with trial lawyers to consistently and systematically chip away at and gut pieces of both our work comp reform laws and our tort reform laws. We decided that we could no longer ignore what was going on in the courts.
It's hard to oust an incumbent state Supreme Court justice because they run for retention. It's like once you're in, you're always in.
Our judges had decided that they were legislators in black robes and became advocates and activists. We needed to do something different to hold them more accountable. OCPA, like many of our peers, have a legislative scorecard, but nothing like that existed for judges. People just don't have information about the rulings of judges. For the first time in the history of what's called retention ballots in Oklahoma, Oklahomans removed the most liberal judge and really the most liberal activist on the court in November of 2024.
That's never been done before in state history. I mean, why would we think we could do that? But we did. So now we know we can do impossible things.
I don't think that is true without the durable freedom infrastructure that Jonathan and others have worked alongside him to make that reality.
This work does require courage. If you're effective, people will come after you, they'll come after your organization, they'll come after your donors, and they may even come after your family.
Jonathan has some battle scars, no question about that.
Another political actor in the state invented despicable lies about Jonathan and other team members of his and spread those around the state in an effort to get them to back off of an issue.
He got sued, he got smeared in the papers, and he stood up to that. He stood up for what was right.
His presence forecasts a refusal to quit.
It was absolutely inspiring to see Jonathan really persevere and make his way through that just incredibly challenging time.
And that requires somebody to be committed, passionate, kind, a sense of humility, and a spine of steel to deal with the arrows that come unexpectedly.
You have to be bold and fearless because you have to know you're going to come up against issues that are going to make people really not like you. He just hasn't been worried about that because where he is and what he's doing is what God wants him to be doing.
You know, I think the courage to do the right thing, even though it's going to be hard, I think that's much easier to do that when you remember people who made sacrifices for you and who is going to be hurt if you don't do the right thing. And I feel like it's my responsibility as a leader to be thinking about where things need to be going in order to preserve the maximum amount of opportunity for Oklahomans.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's Thomas Roe Award winner from the great state of Oklahoma, Jonathan Small.
Thank you. That's the closest I'm ever going to get to a starting lineup. And also, I am well aware that I'm the only thing standing between you and lots of opportunities to try to deploy self-control. So I'll get started. Millions of Americans are trapped. What will we do to free them? Imagine for a moment that you are Felicia's mom, and every day your daughter goes to her government-assigned school. She hates it. She tells you that she's not learning, but worse, she's being bullied. Imagine that your daughter, Felicia, doesn't spend lunch in the lunchroom with everyone else. She spends it in the bathroom every day, crying because she's scared. It is the policies that are advanced in this room by each of you that are going to give people like Felicia the best chance to be freed. But in order to free people from the clutches of government, it does require getting uncomfortable. When I think of heroes who free people, I first think of the greatest hero, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Who I was introduced to by my parents, Jonathan and Darcel Small, who are here tonight. They would tell you, and I would tell you, that any success our family has had is because of our decision to follow Christ and His Word. And it's because of them that I am now in the position to live my vocational mission, which, as a recovering state employee, is to free as many people from government dependency so they can be free to be who God created them to be. When I think of heroes, I think of David and Ann Noble Brown, who for 30 years, first starting with the Heritage Foundation and then with their creation of OCPA, did all they could to make sure that Oklahoma achieved their vision, which was that Oklahoma would be better. It is because of the Brown family, the Noble family, our board, our staff, and all the people that invest in our work, why Oklahoma is moving the right direction. I really believe that this is an award for them and not for me, and that all they have done is just allow me to be on their team. So thank you. But I also want to thank a couple of other heroes, Tracy Sharp and Lynn Harsh. And their incredible team and staff and board at SBN who live out their faith and belief in the power of networks, and even greater in the power of iron sharpening iron. But then I also want to thank my greatest hero and my best friend, my wife, Christina Small, who's here. She has sacrificed a lot, including multiple Honda Odyssey minivans. And it is because of Christina and our 5 girls why we have been able to be successful in trying to make Oklahoma a better place for other kids just like ours. So you might be thinking, Jonathan, the problem is government is an extremely powerful force. And it is. And when you decide to get uncomfortable to free people like Felicia, government bureaucrats are going to fight back. But remember when I talked about the vision of David and Ann Brown? 20 years after they started OCPA, the Oklahoma legislature advanced one of OCPA's ideas, the Lindsay Nicole Henry Scholarship Program. Now, you'll be excited to know that Felicia was able to get out of her government-assigned school, that she was able to move to a school that better met her needs, and she is thriving today. If we're going to free those who are in the clutches of government, it is going to require us to be eager to get uncomfortable. Have you seen from the video? We kind of like getting uncomfortable at OCPA. Millions of Americans are trapped. What will you do to free them? Thank you.
Hey, just a sec, Jonathan. Just one quick thing. We have a little surprise for you. Something that your wife told us about, a lake that the two of you love to go to. And thanks to John Kramer, he has done a painting for you. So. Congratulations.